Mikal Bridges has been an absolute dog this season, all right, for the Brooklyn Nets. People are like, oh, this guy's just a number three or fourth option. Okay, this guy's showing that he's actually a number one, somebody that needs to be taken seriously. What is it? 12 games now with the Brooklyn Nets. This man is averaging 25.8 points, basically 26 points a night, a little under 52% from the field, 49% from three, shooting like 6, 7 threes a night, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and a block a game in 34 minutes. Mikal Bridges is him, all right? Supposedly, Brian Lewis at the New York Post. Hit that like and subscribe button if you guys do enjoy this. We just hit 10,000 on the way to 20,000 now. Sources tell Brian Lewis at the New York Post that the Brooklyn Nets are pleasantly surprised with how Mikal Bridges has elevated his game. Mikal Bridges is known as an ironman, a defensive stud. Mikal Bridges has not missed a single game since his junior season in high school. He has an infectious personality that the Nets view him as a building block, as a franchise cornerstone. But the way that he's leveled up his offensive game has been the most encouraging sign for this coaching staff and the organization of the Brooklyn Nets, of what he can be for the Nets in the long term. Jacques Vaughn and the coaching staff have learned what Bridges can do. They've baked in some mid-range looks at the elbow for him the same way they did for Durant. And analytics be damned because it's working. All right, Mikal Bridges continues to exceed the offensive expectations. All right, Spencer Dinwiddie's crunch time playmaking, late stops, and diverse scoring, and Mikal Bridges, they've won 4 or 5, and this team has been able to look newborn. All right, and this team, what we're seeing is the metamorphosis of this squad, the identity, and defensive orientated. Okay, because when they traded for everyone, they made sure they traded for defensive guys, two-way guys who either were studs on defense and were willing three-point shooters, or guys who were good three-point shooters who were willing defenders. And we saw them rest Dinwiddie, O'Neal, and Claxton and Cam Johnson, and they almost beat a team with Patty Mills and Drew Smith and the bench, all right? And they only lost because Brook Lopez is shot blocking and they missed some offensive rebounds. But this team's culture and defensive orientation is a driving force. And the Nets were considered a small team with Claxton and Sharp the only pure centers. And this was a team that Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, newcomers, Royce O'Neal as well, they brought this sort of spacing, and they've been able to just move the ball around, and Vaughn has trusted the offense in Dinwiddie. And what we're seeing is Royce O'Neal, O'Neal is the typical 3-and-D player, but they got so many 3-and-D players. They're like a 96.5 defense over the last 3 or 4 games. And they're just shooting threes. And look, Bridges, who couldn't care less about scoring, the 2-time national champion, they're doing whatever it takes to win. And I think that's the biggest part, is doing whatever it takes to win. Is a mentality that I think is underrated, and people don't realize how infectious it is. So for me, I think Mikal is just showing that this is insane, right? Like, we're seeing a Brooklyn Nets squad that, how do you stop them? And it's starting to be so much fun. Like, it's a good team, all right? It's a good team, and I think people don't realize how lucky we're getting to see such a dominant squad get formed, because they have the cornerstones. Cam Johnson's going to be here, Nick Claxton's going to be here, and Mikal Bridges will be here next year. So all you got to do is, Spencer could stay here. He could be, point guard. And I think this team is a lot better than people want to give them credit for, because people are acting like this team sucks and doesn't have, no, like, this team is still a playoff squad if they kept the same guys next year. They have young talent in Cam Thomas that they could trade, to get, stars if a team wants to do a fire sale. So they have assets that they can use to acquire more players. So I think the best thing is right here is being able to take it to the next level. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Do you guys agree with me? Cam Thomas is a good trade asset. Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Spencer Dinwiddie, Nick Claxton, all guys you should build around. Spencer's a good trade asset as well. Let me hear your thoughts.